Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning back into Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the newest album from Diiv, Deceiver. So shoegazers and indie darlings Diiv are back with their third studio album over here. And yeah, I gotta admit, I honestly didn't think there was going to be another Diiv record after Is the Izzar, with everything that's been surrounding frontman Z. Cole Smith over the past few years. I caught them live in Boston a few years back around the release of that album, and Z talked about being really depressed on stage and how he just had no motivation to tour anymore. But it does seem like since then he's gotten sober and he's been recovering and doing well, which is really good news. And here we are with a new record, and I mean, they kind of sound like a band that would open up for Diiv now. I mean, this record is a little bit heavier in tone compared to their past releases, and it sounds like it's pulling a lot from 90s alternative grunge. But don't let that deceive you on this record here. It does sound like there's still a huge My Bloody Valentine influence hanging over this thing, especially on the track For the Guilty. And overall, the mood of this record is a lot more forlorn than their past releases. And yeah, Diiv usually does have a little bit more of a sadder feel to them overall, but this record here has nothing in the way of a unique or standout melody or compelling songwriting on it, and it leaves pretty much everything on this record feeling extremely flat and flaccid even, almost like emo gazing. But I wouldn't call anything on this record like dreamy, especially on tracks like Between the Tides and Taker. And for the most part, the vocal delivery of Diiv is a very breathy, almost hummed kind of style that I do think worked on their past releases when they had a more of a brighter sound and a lot of the instrumentals were a lot more drippy. And at some points on this record in spots, like on the tracks Blankenship or even The Spark, it does still kind of work and make for a kind of catchy track. But for the most part, the way that this all comes together on here with these more downtrodden instrumentals that don't have any type of standout guitar line on them just come off extremely boring. And honestly, I think Diiv was most interesting on their debut release, Ocean, and since then they haven't really gone back and expanded on those ideas at all. And I mean, I wouldn't call this record terrible or anything, but it just really did not connect with me, and there's not much going on here that I could say is memorable. And yeah, with that being said, I'm feeling a 4.5 over here on Deceiver. Now, there's actually a ton of different record presses floating around at this album, and maybe the most interesting one that I could find was that Galaxy pressing that was a Rough Trade exclusive, I think out of the UK, limited to 1,200. Captured Tracks also has a tri-colored vinyl up that I think is sold out by now. There's a limited Gray Marble pressing that's exclusive to indie record stores. There's also a limited edition clear vinyl that's out of Germany. And then you got your standard black LP issue and a cassette release. So yeah, lots of different presses if you want to go crazy collecting this album. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this record down in the comments below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button and hit the bell as well so you can be notified when I put up my next review. Peace.